So what's going to happen right after Dominion? Planetary interaction. That's going to be our next big thing. And what does planetary interaction mean? And why planets? So it makes sense as a pod pilot that you want to get your fingers dirty on the planets. There are trillions of people living there, there's money to be made, there's deals to be broken, and people to screw over, and you know, they are yours to play with.
Yes, I had to have a slide about
abilities
in here. So, yeah, what we want to do with it, we want it to be, when someone finds out about this new planetary interaction thing and they've never played EVE before, they want to be able to come in the game and actually do it from the get-go. Not something where they're going to have to train up for 6 months and only, like...
Have 4 Titans.
Yeah, and also so that... never mind. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, pretty much. The barrier of entry for interacting with the planet should be low, but the complexity of the gameplay grows as the more you play it. So meaning that it's not just one guy that owns all the planets in Empire. Interacting with planets doesn't necessarily mean owning the entire planet, rather perhaps controlling a district or a region on the planet. When we want to maximize human interaction, and that means that I may own a district and Noah owns another district, and we can actually have some sort of relationship. I'll get into that later, but you know, there would be a symbiotic relationship between us, and we will promote synergy as bosses. And the approach is it's like gardening. You nurture good growth. You're going to go in there, you open up your planetary interaction window or interface, and you like cut out the dead branches, you set some things off, kill the weeds, and you check on it regularly. But it doesn't require you to like be watching it the entire time. You can just log in, do a little planetary stuff, and then leave it, and then check on it, how it has evolved, and what has happened kind of the day after or the week after. So we're not totally cloning Civilization in SimCity, although it's tempting, and those are great games. They're just already out there. We don't have to make them again. But it's the same feel, you know, building just stuff and then seeing, you know, set it off and see what happens in the ant farm.
Can I blow it up?
We'll get to that later.
Oh.
It will have a dark feel to it. And of course, there's no right or wrong in how you are interacting with the planet. It's just...
Yes, we love being morally ambiguous.
Yes. So we built industry academia infrastructure. You can keep the masses subdued with holoreels, and this is a personal fantasy of mine. I want to like set up a mining colony on a horrible planet with terrible gravity and air pressure, and just make life miserable for an unwilling crew of miners. And it's less about like moving particular units, putting a series of mechs there and a series of doctors there, etc. It's more like policies, trade agreements, and diplomacy by other means. So you might want to care for your planet or not, and it's kind of up to you. But if you are polluting, for example, but that's just one example, so I have a district and I'm manufacturing something evil and horrible, and that pollutes Noah's garden next to me. So he may get pissed off as my neighbor. So stuff is going to spill over into neighboring districts, which can be beneficial or it can be off-pissing. And of course, there will be like plebs and people that you have to keep in place that live on your planets and remind them who's boss every now and then. This picture is actually taken here in Iceland a couple of months ago. So you see how the districts could like so you have like some people who are your neighbors, and you're like interacting with these districts, and stuff can be flowing between them. And you could be manufacturing stuff. I could be manufacturing armor plating.
Armor plating.
Yes. And in return, I would give Noah exotic dancers. You know, we could have a trade agreement there.
Or I might hate you.
Yes. But sometimes diplomacy doesn't solve all problems. And that's kind of where, unfortunately, sometimes you have to mute from orbit. But strangely enough, some people like invading districts or countries, ruining their government, but keeping their infrastructure. I have no idea where this paradigm comes from. It's not like... I wonder where that idea came from. from modern history from the last 4 years. But you want to keep the infrastructure so you can keep on manufacturing. So that's why you want boots on the ground. But these boots on the ground are not going to be within EVE. You will need to make contracts with people outside of EVE Online, the computer game. That will take care of business for you. More on that later. That's it
No,
from
it's
us
okay.
for now.
We're almost there.
Yes.
We're almost there. Because we're going to thank Noah for coming up as a game designer, but we're also going to get on stage Atli from the Dust team. Please welcome Atli to the stage.